Dear students, welcome back. We finished chapter 11. Now, whatever we learned in chapter 11, we will try to apply here. We will try to find the square root function, covariance function, correlation function. We can calculate the regression, we can calculate the beta through slope, and we can calculate the alpha through intercept. These are the few functions which are being used in this particular chapter, and some we will discuss here. And this spreadsheet, as usual, I will provide you in your LMS Blackboard. You can practice at home. Let us start first. See here, you have uh, you know if the returns are not attached with standard deviation, you can use the inbuilt spreadsheet function. But when there are probabilities are attached, then directly there is no inbuilt functions, unfortunately. Say for example, here you have two companies. One is Supertech, the other company is Slowpoke. So Supertech company is having uh, the returns in different probabilities. Like there are four different probabilities assigned here: depression, recession, normal, and boom. The probabilities are equal probabilities, like 25% depression probability, 25% recession probability, 25% for normal, 25% for boom. So once you calculate this, the returns are being assigned. If there is a depression, you will have 20% negative return. If there is a recession, you have 10% return for Supertech. If there is normal economic condition, you have 30% return probability. And if your boom economic condition occurs, your return will be 50%. Therefore, these are the different possible returns. Go to the formula. Expected return is equal to probability of return multiplied by possibility of return. Understand? That's why I said RAM and ROM of your memories. In the ROM, if you do it 2-3 times, it automatically goes to the RAM. So expected return is equal to probability of return multiplied by possibility of return. C9 multiplied by D9 will be equal to the expected return under depression. Similarly, expected return under recession, under normal, and boom. When you add together, you get the expected return of the different economic conditions. Whether it is a depression, recession, normal, boom, any situation might occur, and your expected return will be 17.5% under different economic scenarios. Now, what we have done for calculating the standard deviation and variance and covariance, we calculated the deviation from the expected return. So here the deviation from the expected return is calculated. How we calculated that? We have calculated that the from the return minus the expected return, and it will be remained constant for all the economic conditions. So freeze it by a 4, enter. Then what you do, just go down and fill it. So like that you do it for the deviation from the expected return is equal to the return minus the possibility of return minus the expected return. Then do it for the same, drag it down to calculate the deviation from each possibilities, each probabilities. Once you get the deviations, you find here some deviations are negative, some deviations are positive. For example, 37.5% is negative, then 7.5% negative, then 12.5% positive to 32.5% positive. We don't want the signs to be negative and positive. So what we will do? Square the deviation. Once you square the deviation, you multiply with the probability, then you get the variance. Sum of the probabilities multiplied by the squared deviation will be the variance. Once you calculate the variance, you calculate the standard deviation through the square root. Here you have, there is a function called square root function, SQRT. Use this function and calculate the square root of this standard deviation. You got it. This is the way you can calculate for another company, Slowpoke. The depression, same possibilities are there. 25% for depression, 25% recession, 25% normal, 25% boom. Different possibility of returns are given. Possibility multiplied by probability is equal to expected. When you sum total, you get the expected return of different probabilities, different economic conditions. Then you get the deviation. The possibility of return minus expected return will give you the deviation. Then deviation, some come negative, some come positive. To change the to ignore the sign differences, you square this so that everyone will be positive. Multiply this with probability, sum this, you get the variance. Square root of that will be your standard deviation. This is the way you have to calculate the standard deviation when there are different economic conditions are available, different probabilities are assigned. But then what we calculate? We calculate the correlation. How we calculate that? Probabilities are given here and the deviations are deviation of Supertech from the expected return, deviation of Slowpoke from the expected return, production of, when you multiply the deviation of Supertech, deviation of Slowpoke, you get the product of the deviations without squaring. You just multiply the deviation of Supertech multiplied with deviation of Slowpoke, multiply with the probability, total this, you will get the covariance. Then you can calculate the correlation. Correlation is equal to covariance divided by standard deviation of Supertech multiplied by standard deviation of Slowpoke will give you the correlation. We calculated here because different economic conditions are assigned here, probabilities are assigned here. So you have to calculate the standard deviation, calculate the correlation, calculate the covariance. But if the returns are given like this without probability, which we have done in the last chapter, then you need not calculate anything. No deviation, no expected, nothing. Simply you can calculate all the calculations. You can calculate the mean through the average function. You can calculate the mean through the average function. Average. Similarly, you can calculate the standard deviation through the standard deviation function for the population P, for the sample S. If you simply calculate STD, standard deviation STDEB for the sample. Similarly, we can calculate the covariance and correlation also directly through the inbuilt function of Excel. For the covariance, you have to just use the covariance function. There is a covariance function, use it and calculate whichever you want to calculate. Here for the covariance of the stock, okay, and the market will give you the covariance. Similarly, you can calculate the correlation also from the inbuilt function of spreadsheet. You can use this. So, comma, array 2. So this is the way when it is possible, when you calculate these things, for normal returns provided. If probabilities are assigned, then you have to calculate through the calculation mode. That is, probability of return multiplied by possibility of return is equal to expected return, then deviation from the deviation from the expected return. square of deviations multiplied with the probability will summed up will give you the variance. Square root will give you the standard deviation. When you multiply the deviation of super tech with the deviation of Slopak and you multiply with the probability, you get the variance. You get the variance, covariance here calculated here, deviation of Supertech multiplied by deviation of Slopak multiplied with the probability will give you the covariance. Covariance divided by standard deviation of Supertech multiplied by standard deviation of Slopak will give you the correlation. But if the returns are only simply returns are provided to you for a number of periods, you can calculate the mean through the average function, standard deviation of the sample, STDEV, standard deviation of the population, STDEV dot P, variance VAR function. Then you can calculate the correlation, covariance through the covariance function, through the correlation function inbuilt. Now let us go to the next section. I hope it is clear to all of you. Next section is talking about the expected return of stock A, expected return of stock B, standard deviation of stock A, standard deviation of stock B. Okay, all clear? Now, like for example, bond fund, stock fund. Here, expected return of stock A, stock B, standard deviation of stock A, standard deviation of stock B, weight of stock A, 1 minus weight of stock B, which is equal to, you will have weight of stock, weight of bond. Stock A, stock A you invest 30%, stock B you invest 70%. 1 minus stock A weight is equal to stock B weight. Correlation between them is 0.10, given data. Now, you can calculate the expected return. Expected return is equal to what? You know, expected return is equal to, what is the expected return formula for portfolio? The weight of return multiplied by expected return plus weight of return B multiplied by expected return of stock B. So 30% multiplied by 9% plus 70% multiplied by 14% is equal to expected return of the portfolio. Standard deviation of the portfolio. You see now your ROM will be used here. If you repeat the formula for 2-3 times, when you are drawing, I told you that time, when formula discussion was going on, I told you. When, for example, you are writing a formula, it will be very much helpful. What is the formula? Formula is very simple. Standard deviation of stock A square multiplied by weight of stock A square plus standard deviation of stock B square plus multiplied by weight of stock B square plus 2 stocks, therefore plus 2 multiplied by weight of A multiplied by weight of B multiplied by standard deviation of A multiplied by standard deviation of B multiplied by correlation to the power square root will be the standard deviation of the portfolio. This much you calculated. Okay, students, this much you calculated. Now, you see the author has used here the data table function. What he has done? He has calculated here these two things. Expected return of a portfolio having 30% stock A, 70% stock B. Now, let us change the weights. Stock A's weight, let us change from 0%. That means 0% stock A, 100% stock B. 5% stock A, 95% stock B. 10, 15, 20, like that. Last one will be 100% stock A, 0% stock B. We need to calculate these returns. How to do it? Do with me, please. So you can do here the return. What you are just putting? You are putting the, this is equal to the, because you are putting the weight of stock A, put this weight of stock A. This is equal to the weight of stock A we put here. And here what we need to put is equal to the expected return of the portfolio. If weight of stock A is 30%, expected return is equal to 12.5%. What is the standard deviation? If weight of stock A is 30%, the standard deviation is 39.48%. Enter. Then this one, you just whatever percentage you want to do it. Here I just borrowed from here these percentages. I copied from here and I pasted here. So that's it. Now data table I will do it. How can I do it? Just simply select the range of data where you want to use the data table. I selected the range here. Now I will go to the data view. Once I go to the data ribbon, I will just select the data ribbon. What if analysis, data table. It is asking what you are changing in the row. Row I am changing nothing. So I will keep it as blank. What you are changing in the column? In the column I am changing the percentage. Percentage of stock A from 0% to 100% I am changing. So I will simply select the weight of this. I am changing in the column. Row I am not changing anything. Okay. You see, I got the data. Now go to the home button and come here percentage and go to 2%. Make it middle. See here. So enter, make it red font. Yeah. Now see, at 0%, 14%, 55%. See, 14%, 55%. And what I will do now, this one I will erase. Means I will, for making you comfortable, what I will do, I will so same for example here also, then it will not be visible. This one, okay, this one. So now nowhere formula is looking, its data table is ready. Now it is clear. Again I am saying, what I have done here, simply I just put the formula for calculating the expected return here. I put the formula here for calculating the standard deviation here, right? Okay. So here also, if you are using the same function, you need not do this. You see, in Excel, for example, one you have used fund. Here you want to do it, just click on F4. It will automatically take the same function. Same last function will be repeated. So F4. So here, what I will do, I will just select the range of data where I want to fill the data table. Go to the data ribbon and what if analysis. In the data table, what I will do, in the row I am not changing anything, keep it blank. In the column I am changing the percentage. So I will come here and this percentage I will change. I will make it okay. Then I will get the different rates, returns and risk. Let me go here and make it percentage and maybe for example percentage and middle, then yeah. What will happen here, this one I will keep it as blue because this is not function, this is given data. Yeah. So here if you have 0% in stock A, your return will be 14%, your risk will be 55%. If you are investing 5% in stock A, 95% in stock B, your risk is 13.7552. Like that, if you are investing 100% in stock A, and 0% in stock B, 9% and 19%. Like the different for drawing the security front line or the security frontier, you just use this, then it becomes very easier for you. Within seconds you can draw all these things through the data table. So next we will go for the regression. As you know, you see the regression here is 1.544. You can see here x variable regression is 1.544. You can calculate the beta through the slope. Last lecture I explained you how to calculate the beta through the slope. Easily you can calculate this. So we have calculated in the last lecture. Okay, so and the alpha can be calculated through the intercept function, beta can be calculated through the slope function. The same can be calculated through the regression line. You can see here 1.44 is the beta of the particular security. How can we calculate the regression? For example, I will add one sheet here. Okay, then I will go to the data, then data analysis, regression. Okay, it's asking me which series of data you want to use. For example, it's asking me, say for example, we will calculate the regression for example, IBM stock. So IBM return is given here. So in the Y range, always in the stock will be in the Y range, and the market will be in the X range. So go to the Y range, to the particular stock return, that is IBM return. Select the data range, and in the X range, I will select the market return. This is S&P return. And OK. You can find here the beta of IBM is 1.009. So you can calculate the beta of IBM through the slope function also. You can calculate the slope also for calculating the beta. Go there and your stock return in the Y. You asked me one question in previous class when we are calculating the slope. You asked me, is it always required to calculate the Y as the company? I said yes, because Y is the dependent variable. X is the independent variable. So in the Y, just take the stock return. Comma. In the X, you can calculate the S&P return, the market proxy from 2013 to 2018, and enter. So you can see here we calculated the beta through slope. Beta through slope for IBM. And we have calculated the beta through the regression. Both are same. You can see the beta of IBM through the regression line, beta through slope through the Excel inbuilt function. Both of them are having the same answer. So this is the way we calculate the beta. Either it's up to you whether you want to calculate the beta through the regression line inbuilt Excel spreadsheet, or you can calculate the beta through the slope. It's up to you. Choice you can take. Slope you can use because it's easy to take and easy to calculate. So this is the way we calculate the beta through the regression line. And these are the extra lines. Just we can delete them. Now we added, so let us delete them. Okay. So return data, and Okay, so this is the way we have to calculate all the uh, chapter 11 related for few of the functions we have used. And to master it, sky is the limit. Little more practice if you do, you can make more practice, more expertise you can get. There is no end to it, as I said.